Hello, it's Simon Zutshi here, and in this property update, I want to talk to you about what's happening in the UK property market. Now, we're actually sitting in Dubai at the moment. I'm here for the Dubai PIN meeting, which was a fantastic event. But I've been keeping an eye on the headlines, and I've noticed that the Halifax, which is the largest building society in the UK, despite having small increases in prices over the last 3 months. So December was a 1.1 increase in house prices, November was 0.6, and October was 1.2% increase in price. So the average house price in the UK is just over £187,000. Despite that, the Halifax believe that property prices will fall 4% in 2024. Now, why is that? That's what this video is all about. Well, I believe they're probably correct. There is a shortage of accommodation in the UK, that's a fact. We have an increasing population, increasing immigration. We need 300,000 new homes every year. We're building nowhere near that. Something like less than 200,000 were built in 2023. However, recently we've seen the interest rates have been slashed. Now, why has that happened? Well, the Bank of England are expected to reduce their interest rates. And the reason that's going to happen is because inflation is coming down. Well, that's what everyone thinks. However, there's a big factor that I think most people are missing. That is this crisis in the Red Sea, where you have terrorists and pirates basically are attacking some of the freight ships. It means the cost of shipping has gone up dramatically, 2.5, even 3 times increase. Now that's going to mean that anything that's imported from China into Europe and into the UK is going to be more expensive because the cost of freight has gone up. What these cargo ships are now having to do is they're having to go via South Africa, which is an extra 4,000 miles, takes an extra 9 days, and costs about an extra £800,000. That cost is being passed on to the people who are hiring the shipping containers. A friend of mine who imports baby goods from China into the UK, he said it's going to have to increase his prices 20% literally this month just to account for the increased cost of shipping. So we are going to see a real spike in inflation happening in the UK over the next couple of months. So with that in mind, I don't think the Bank of England is going to be lowering their rates. Now, what happens in January, you've got lenders who need to lend money. That's why there's this interest rate war that's happening. People are bringing down rates. But if you look at all the headline figures, they're talking about mortgages that are probably residential mortgages, and also they're talking about mortgages being less than 4%, but many of those are 50 and 60% loan to value. So it's not really relevant for us as property investors, where we might borrow something like 75% loan to value. So if you're buying at 75%, rates have come down a bit, but you're looking at probably just under 6% for your mortgage right now, which is an improvement. And this is because, say, lots of people believe the Bank of England base rates are going to come down because inflation is falling, but I wouldn't be so sure. Now, the 1st of February is the date. I'm going to do a video on that day when we hear the latest announcement from the Bank of England monetary policy to see are they going to bring rates down or not. But the point is, Halifax, who kind of know what's going on because they lend so much money, they think the market's coming down 4%. Why is that going to be? Well, we need to understand that still it's relatively expensive for people who are homeowners to buy properties, to show the affordability of the mortgage. It doesn't really stack up for many investors who are trying to do single-let properties. Strategies such as HMOs and serviced accommodation, they do stack up for mortgage purposes, but a normal single-let doesn't really stack up. So although there might be people who want to buy property, they're finding it very difficult to get financing. The other problem is surveyors at the moment are still down valuing properties, despite the 3 months of a slight blip up. If a surveyor comes in and down values it 10%, well, you've got to find a lot more money to buy that property, which people generally don't have at the moment. So all of these factors are coming together, and it means that actually we're probably going to see property prices continue to fall into 2024. Now, how much are they going to fall? No one knows. Halifax have predicted 4%. I think that's probably a realistic estimate. I think we're going to see prices come down a little bit in 2024. I think by the end of 24, certainly in 2025, I think property prices start to go up again because we have all this underlying demand. But when it comes to property price predictions, no one really knows. There are still some people on YouTube say we're going to have a property market crash like we did back in 2008. I don't think we're going to have a property market crash. We're just getting a correction. Prices are still higher than they were prior to COVID. My prediction was prices might come back to the pre-COVID rate. We're not quite there yet, but we're going to have to see what happens. My philosophy on this is people sit back and say, we're going to wait until it's the right time to invest. But when is the right time to invest in buy-to-let property? Well, the reality is there's never a best time. There's always going to be some factors that you're not quite sure about. But if you follow my 5 golden rules from my book, Property Magic, and you buy property where you know you can rent it out, you've got a good strong rental demand, which is rule number 2, you know you make positive cash flow, which is rule number 3, and you're holding long term, which is rule number 4, it doesn't really matter what happens short term to property prices. If you rent it, you're making cash flow, and you're prepared to hold. So my view is now is a fantastic time to invest. I'm always saying now is a good time to invest as long as you know what you're doing. But right now in 2024, where lots of people are sitting by the side waiting to see what happens, you've got lots of landlords still looking to sell up, now is going to be a great time to acquire property. Now, I use the word acquire rather than buy. You can obviously buy property, which is great, but there are other strategies you can use as well. You can pick up properties from landlords who don't really want the hassle anymore on a rent-to-rent basis. It's a very quick way of generating great cash flow on a property you don't own. The biggest problem with rent-to-rent is at some point you're going to give that property back to the owner. A better strategy than rent-to-rent, but very similar, is a purchase lease option, where you control the property, you look after it, you take away the hassle from the landlord, but as well as getting monthly cash flow profit, you also benefit from long-term capital growth. Now, price is a bit shaky, they're probably going to come down in 2024 in the UK property market, but if you have an option for 3 to 5 years, I believe in that time, the price will not only recover, but it'll be higher than where it is right now. So if you've got long enough on your purchase option, you not only benefit from cash flow, you also benefit from potential capital growth. If you don't want to buy the property at the end of that option period, you don't have to buy it. So it's really a great thing for you. From an ethical point of view, if you don't buy the property, you must make sure you give it back to the landlord in as good as or even better condition when they first gave it to you. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos about lease options over the next couple of months on this YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon, because when videos like this come out, like the one on the 1st of February, so we're all about the monetary policy decision at the Bank of England, you want to make sure you're listening to them as soon as you possibly can and taking any relevant action. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified when videos come out, and hopefully you've liked this video. Please like it, it helps the algorithms, more people will see it that way, and I'd love to see your comments below. What do you think is going to happen to interest rates? What do you think is going to happen to inflation? And what do you think is going to happen to the property market? At the end of the day, no one knows what's going to happen, but we can have our best view. But I'd say have an opinion. Don't just sit back and don't do anything. You know, you've got to take some action. You've got to get into the market. You've got to be there. You've got to be in it to win it. So I really want to encourage you to get out there. There are some great property deals. If you know how to find them, you know how to negotiate with owners, great deals to be done. If you don't know how to do that, come and speak to us, speak to my team. We can help you. We have lots of training courses to help you find deals, to negotiate true win-win ethical deals for you and also for the motivated seller. But for now, I'm from sunny Dubai. I'm going to wish you farewell. As ever, I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. I do hope you got massive value from watching this YouTube video. I'd encourage you to click on the link below to come and do the online training with me. And I've got another video lined up for you, which I think is also going to be really useful, that you should watch once you've registered for the online training with me. So invest with knowledge, invest with skill. I'll see you very soon.